Nobody wakes up and decides to lose their faith. You don't just wake up one morning and decide you're done with God. It doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in a drift. It's like a boat that isn't anchored. The current doesn't ask for permission. It just pulls. You look up, and suddenly the shore you once stood on is miles away. If you feel like God is distant today, you have to understand something. God didn't move. You drifted. The prayerless hustle. The first sign is the prayerless hustle. You've replaced presence with performance. You're so busy working for God that you've stopped walking with God. You've mistaken your hustle for your holiness. You're checking off religious boxes, attending the meetings, and doing the good things, but your secret life is empty. If you're too busy to pray, you are busier than God ever intended you to be. When you stop talking to the Father, you start relying on your own strength. And when you rely on your own strength, you aren't a disciple anymore. You're just a tired employee. You can't survive on yesterday's manna. The small compromise. Sign number 2 is the small compromise. It's the little foxes that spoil the vine. You didn't jump into a pit of sin. You walked down a long staircase of it's not that bad. It's the movie you shouldn't be watching, the conversation you shouldn't be having, the small lie that you told to keep the peace. A tiny leak doesn't sink a ship in a second. It sinks it in an hour. You start to tolerate things today that would have broken your heart a year ago. Every time you say it's just a little thing, you're cutting the rope to your anchor. The crowd's frequency. The third sign you're drifting is the crowd's frequency. You're trying to run with the world while keeping pace with the Spirit, and it is impossible. You cannot listen to the world's music and expect to hear heaven's melody. If your closest friends don't love God, they're subconsciously teaching you how to live without Him. They're dialing your heart into a different frequency. You think you're influencing them, but if you're the one drifting, they're the ones influencing you. You cannot keep your fire burning in a room full of people who are pouring water on it. The unattended wound. The fourth sign is the unattended wound. You are drifting because you are carrying a holy grudge. You're mad at God for what He didn't fix, or you're bitter at the church for how they let you down. Instead of taking the wound to the physician, you've let it fester into a wedge. You've started to distance yourself from God because you've turned your pain into an altar. But listen, an unattended wound becomes an entry point for the enemy. You aren't protecting yourself by drifting. You're just bleeding out in private. The digital static. Sign number 5 is the digital static. Your scrolling has replaced your seeking. You are more formed by your social media feed than you are by the Word of God. You've traded the bread of life for the junk food of the internet. You wonder why your soul feels dry, but you're spending 6 hours a day looking at what other people have instead of looking at what God said. Your mind is so full of digital noise that there is no room for divine revelation. You can't hear a whisper when you're plugged into a megaphone. The lack of an anchor. The final sign is the lack of an anchor. This is biblical illiteracy. You're trying to navigate a spiritual storm without a compass. If you aren't in the Word, you are at the mercy of your emotions. When the waves of life get high, your feelings will tell you that God is gone. Your feelings will tell you that it's over. Without the Word as your anchor, you will be tossed by every wind of doctrine and every wave of anxiety. You don't drift because the storm is too big. You drift because your anchor is too small. Drifting is passive, but returning is active. You don't drift back to shore. You have to row. You have to make the choice today to stop the fade. The Father isn't waiting for you with a lecture. He's waiting for you with a robe and a ring. He's right where you left Him.